Welcome back, traders. Today we are looking at Bitcoin. It did something amazing over the weekend. We defeated the $40,000 resistance level, which was right about here, and we are still pumping right past it on the daily candle. We went as high as 42,168. That got us out of this upward channel I had drawn here from where we broke out to 35,000, where I drew this white line. It tested it, went off of it. We're now above this ascending resistance line here that I started near the bottom of this most recent move. So we're above that now. Now what we're going to do is retest either this line here around 37, or we're just going to retest 40 again. That would be the healthy thing to do, for to retest those levels before moving on up. And I say that because if we, let me get rid of this channel because I don't really need it anymore. It's not that important. So I say that because of these lines I have on my chart here. This is the Bollinger Band, the orange is the 20-day EMA, and the green is the 5-day EMA. The 5-day is kind of like the pulse of what's happening to day, or what we can expect from a day-to-day potential move. For now, we're outside of the Bollinger Bands. It's going to want to come back inside of those Bollinger Bands. It is likely wanting to reunite with that 5-day moving average there. Now that 5-day moving average will continue to move up and probably meet the price somewhere around 40,000. And as long as that 5-day is above the 20, we're still fairly bullish on it. But we could easily come back and retest the 20 like you saw we did here and here, even after that big run up, like we did this huge run up. So we went above the 20, came back, tested it, launched there, took off, and then eventually met with the 20 again up here somewhere. Now that could be something that happens here as well, where we meet again with the 20 somewhere way up high. Or up here, same thing, where we got really far away from the 5 and then it flattened out and the 5 caught up. That could happen. That is absolutely within the cards, within the realm of possibility. Maybe it would meet somewhere around 41,000. But for now, my expectations are that it will probably come back and at least test the upper edge of this green box that I've got here for now, just because it's so far away from the 5-day. It's so far outside of the Bollinger Band. It has to come back to those things at some point soon. We're also almost in oversold conditions. Sorry, excuse me, overbought conditions. Take a look at Mara. I made a huge mistake on Mara. Actually, I'll explain this now because now it happened. I didn't think it would happen so fast. I made a huge mistake on Mara. I started selling calls here at $13 for like $120. Today I had to close those out for about $300, which was a pretty significant loss, but it was less of a loss than if I were to sell my shares at $15. So I decided to bite the bullet, buy back those calls, and just deal with the fact that I lost a few $100s on that move, because I actually made hundreds and hundreds of dollars on that move, from just holding the shares. So it wasn't as much as I gained from the share growth, but it was a decent enough loss. And I do think this gap will probably get filled. It will probably come back down to here, but I don't know if it would come back down to this $13 range before my contract expired, and then I would end up losing those shares. So I'm just going to hold on for now. I don't think I'll be doing that anymore. That was a mistake on my part, a mistake that lost me about $300 this morning because I had done that on 2 contracts. I am still holding 1 contract that I sold a call off of my shares, a covered call at 14.50. So that was about right here. And I'm still within my break even on that because there it is, 14.50. I'm still within my break even on that since it hasn't gone up over $16. Over $16, then I have an issue with that one. But I had gotten way past my break even point for the $13, so I decided to sell it. And if it continues to go up, I'll probably sell some $20 covered calls maybe. Or maybe I won't do any of that stuff anymore because that kind of burned me and I don't care for that. I think I'd rather just sell my shares when I'm ready versus trying to make income off of them at the moment, which I know is probably a good thing if I did it right. But man, that was a quite the burn that I took this morning. But I'm still significantly up, so don't feel bad for me on that. Even though I did lose money. Clean Spark, I screwed up on Clean Spark too. I should have held. I should have held it. I sold at about 740ish, right at the bottom of this bull flag right here, which I should have recognized as a bull flag. and then boom, it's up 9. I could have easily made a few $100s more off of that than I did because I saw 30% in one day and said, "Hey, I'll take that," when I could have had 100% in 2 days. So these are things you can't plan for. I don't feel bad about selling the Clean Spark I bought so quickly. The gains were there. It was a responsible thing to do. I don't feel bad about it. But when I look at the chart like this and I see this huge gap up that I could have benefited from, it stings a little, but it's okay. I'll be fine. This is invalidated now, so I'll get rid of that. But we do have this huge gap to contend with here. So let me take this off that bull flag now. So now we've got this big old gap. Probably do about right there. When Bitcoin cools off, I expect to fill this gap. I expect to fill this gap probably at an angle something like this. Something like that. I'm expecting that. Now, we'll see. Watch it gap up again tomorrow to like $12. What can you do? I'm not buying Clean Spark at $9. As you can see down here on the RSI, we are well over 80 right now. What is it, 83 something? I should probably put my numbers back on there. So I'm not buying it up there. I'll wait. I'll wait until this number retraces to 50. When the RSI retraces to 50, that's when I'll know it's ready for a bounce, and that'll probably be after it fills this gap or near where it would fill this gap. So that's Clean Spark right now. It's taken off. Everything's taken off. Everything's making money right now. I was several $1,000s in the red just a few days ago, and now I'm several $1,000s in the green. So that feels pretty good. I'm pretty happy about that, and I'm just gonna ride this wave for now. I'll wait till my buying opportunities come back in. Look at that red candle. Anyways, Bit Farms. Bit Farms also took off. We went as high as 264. That's pretty great. That's a pretty big, again, bull flag, boom. Same bull flag right there, boom. So we'll see what happens here. I'm expecting to come back to this ascending line, test it around 240-ish, and maybe continue on up. Maybe come back down to an area of high resistance, maybe somewhere like 199, $2. We did break out of this channel pretty dramatically. I mean, we came out, tested it, took off. It's just completely vertical right now. I don't know what to call on this other than maybe a wick down to fill this gap. But I mean, honestly, I don't really know what this is going to do right now. I can't say I know. We almost went to the high of the previous cycle at 285. We got pretty close at 265. So if we defeat 265, so this is what I'm saying now. If we defeat 265, we get above that. We're going to all new all-time highs, or we're going to retest the all-time high of 283. Not all-time high. So, excuse me, cycle high. The cycle high of 283. We're going to retest that if it gets back above this. With this price action that I'm seeing right now, I don't know if that's going to happen, especially with this huge long body red candle coming in. I do think it's probably more likely that if we get underneath this candle here at 243, if we get underneath that, I'm expecting a fill of that gap, a gap fill down to 220s. That's what I'm expecting. And that's what I'm looking at right now. And there's not a lot of resistance at 220. There's a little bit back here, but not tons. And that's from August. Not a lot. Again, biggest zone of resistance. Oops. Dang it. The biggest zone of resistance in recent times that might slow us down significantly enough is, yeah, it's again back down here at 167. I hate to say that. I don't want to see it get back down there. Well, if it did get back down there, honestly, I would buy. I would buy a bunch. Because we do have a gap down here, 145. We have another gap right here at 181. So we could end up coming down and filling these gaps. So we got a gap right here. Got a gap right here. A little one. And we got a gap down here. Now these gaps don't need to be filled, but the market likes to fill gaps. So I expect them to at some point be filled. Maybe it could be after the bull run. I don't know. But with this big red candle, I'm thinking this gap here will probably get filled within the next week or two or month. This gap, maybe. I'm a little bit hopeful, to be honest, because I would like to buy more Bitfarms, and I'm not buying it over $2. So I would like to see it come back down here so I can buy more. That's my thought, anyways. Um, you know, because I would like to own more, so I don't want to buy over $2. Preferably, I'd like to buy down under $1, preferably under $1.50 if I could get some more. Because I only have what, like 3,000 or something like that. I would like to get that up to like 4 or 5, especially after their latest earnings report and press release after that, with how much hash rate they are actually going to build up. The Bitfarms is building up to be a big contender in the space with what they're doing, with the moves they're making right now. So that's great. That's Bitfarms. I'm expecting a gap fill coming in soon. All right. Bit Digital defeated the shelf on Tuesday of last week, actually. Came up, retested this channel, launched just like the others. Bull flag, boom, up. We're up over $3 now. We just shot through $3. Remember how we just shot through $3 on the way down? Well, we did it on the way up too, just right through it. And I'll explain this text here in a second. It actually happened just now. And I was going to talk about it, but then it happened so quickly, I guess I didn't get a chance to. Again, probably looking at a gap fill. This candle does look a lot nicer than the Bitfarms one. It's still very green, but I'm expecting maybe sometime in the next few weeks or months, around like February, March, a gap fill on here. Come back down to the 286 level ish. I'll probably pick up some shares if this gap does get filled. Maybe even a retracement to this upward channel. I think we might test the top of this here at 325 ish before coming back down and testing the top of this upward channel and filling this gap. Maybe even by the end of this month, around 287 ish. For a really healthy move, we should retest this shelf again at 245, but that would be quite dramatic. And it could happen. Maybe something like, here, and then around like February, it's doing that, right? And then like something like that, right? Maybe it's, well, actually, maybe more like this. Let's get up to the top of that channel, and let's get to just around the gap fill. Something like that, and then like come around the center line, test that, and then come out here, bounce off the top of it. Let's see, let's lock that down. Let's see what happens. I'm kind of curious if that's going to happen. I do expect it to cool off. Anyway, so let's take a look at these. All right, and we are back. I'm going to explain this text here. So it says here September 18th, Bollinger Band slash Keltner Channel squeeze began. That's this line here, September 18th. The RSI was over 50. The 200 EMA was rising. And I was waiting for a green on the VIX fix, which is this one, to indicate that this launch was going to happen. I actually didn't get that. Maybe I got it on a lower time frame. I'm not sure. And I wanted to see price over the 200 EMA and then rocket up. So the thing I was really interested in was the Bollinger Band Keltner Channel squeeze, which means that there's tension building in the stock, which was all this movement right here. So let's hide all these drawings and let me turn on my indicators. So this is the Bollinger Band. This is the 20-day moving average. The white is the Bollinger Band, or the gray. Let's turn on the 200 EMA. Remember how price was, so I mentioned price above the 200 EMA, we rocket. See, it went up for 2 days, closed 2 days above. Remember, 2 days closure above the 200 EMA or of whatever price you're looking at, very bullish and up. Same if you get 2 days below, then it's probably going to stay under for a while. Anyways, we got above it for 2 days and just launched. So the Bollinger Band squeeze. So the blue is the Keltner channel, the gray and orange and red. So the gray is the Bollinger Band, the blue is the Keltner channel. When the gray got inside of the Keltner channel on September 19th, right here, when they both the top and the bottom of the Bollinger Band are inside the Keltner channel, that's a squeeze. That is a Bollinger Band Keltner channel squeeze. And that went on from September 19th all the way up until, when was this? All the way until Thursday, last Thursday, we got a release of that squeeze, at least on the bottom. It was still inside on the top. If you look here, in fact, it didn't get outside of the top until today. So that squeeze is now over, and we are free to roam. Now, well, first it's going to come back inside of it, and then we're taking off again. But basically, when you see a Bollinger Band Keltner channel squeeze, your expectation is that at some point, there's going to be an explosive move. And in this case, it was hard to tell which direction it was going to be. But as soon as Bitcoin hit 40,000, last night, I knew it was going to be up. But So we got above the 200. Honestly, I should have known right here on Thursday of last week when we got our second candle closure above, and then Friday morning I should have known it would just be like, woo. That's what I should have known, to be honest. But hindsight's 2020, right? Anyways, that is a Bollinger Band Keltner channel squeeze. That's what I've been looking at, and that's been happening on every single Bitcoin miner for months now. Has been a Bollinger Band Keltner channel squeeze, which was just released last Friday and is still taking off today. We might get one more day of this, but it's going to cool off at some point, come back into the Bollinger Band, come back into the Keltner channel. It doesn't like to stay outside of, below, or above the Keltner channel or the Bollinger Bands. It'll come back in. It'll probably retest the 200-day here at 250-ish, which if we turn on our drawings, which are intense, there's a lot of them, it lines right up with our green line here, almost about 244. So that's what I'm thinking. We're going to cool off, come back down in the next coming months and days, and we'll see where that lands. So reconnect that. Now, that's my thoughts on the Bitcoin miners. They're doing amazing today. I made some mistakes along the way, lost some money, but overall, I'm up enough to where I'm not too concerned about that. So please like, comment, and subscribe, and have a profitable day.